Today I want to show you how to adjust a Marvin swinging door. This door happens to be one of our Marvin in-swing doors, and I think it's going to be great to show you how to adjust because we can take a look at all the gaps around the door to give you a really good understanding how this door works. So let's get started. So one of the first things I like to do is I like to look at the reveals, and the reveals are the gaps. See how big that gap is down there, and we just keep following this up. See how the gap's getting smaller and smaller. Let's take a look at the top of the door. See how that gap is. See how those two panels don't quite line up perfectly. So we're going to try to adjust these with the hinge adjustments, along with a couple other things. And we can take a look here. Well, it looks like at the bottom of the door, the gap's a little wider at the top here than it is at the bottom. So let's see what we can do here to make this door work better. So right off the bat, I notice that the door seems to be hitting at the bottom. So we're going to open the door and take a look at the hinges. Look here, just like I suspected, they didn't put a long screw behind or into the top hinge. Now, depending on the person who built your Marvin door, they typically will leave this screw out to remind you to put in the number 10 by 2.5 inch long screw. And I could tell there was never a screw here because I got a clean pilot hole from the factory. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have the long screws installed in these top hinges, and we'll get started. To get started, I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill. Now, be mindful, depending on your wall thickness, to know where your stud is in your wall. So if your drywall is up to this edge, and this is kind of on that edge, you may actually have to drill or put your screw in an angle like this. It may not look pretty with the head not being flush, but at least it'll support the weight of the door. I don't actually have the color match screw that goes with this door, but we're pretending, but you get the general idea. Okay, now that I confirmed I put long screws through the top hinges. Of course, these aren't very pretty, but this is for demonstration purposes only. We're going to go ahead and try the door now and see if that made any difference on how the door operates. Just like I suspected, that didn't help much. Let's try to adjust the hinges now. So I know I got an excessively large gap there, and then I know that the two doors are actually kind of hitting right here. So I'm going to move this hinge over this way. So we do that by turning this screw here clockwise, and clockwise being righty-tighty. That's going to bring this door closer to this jamb and close up that gap. So we're going to give this a few turns and see what the gap looks like on the inside. That improved the gap, but we still got tight gap. See where it's almost touching? We're going to go ahead and adjust this top screw to bring this door this way now. So on this one, we're going to go lefty-loosey because since this is already touching here, we're going to move the door this way. And we do that by turning this counterclockwise. And now let's see what our reveal looks like from the inside. I made a nice difference there. It's no longer touching. Our reveal looks a little better. Still a little wider at the top, but I don't want to adjust that too far yet. Because if you look here at the top, we're a little tight here, and we kind of got a little bigger gap here. So we may have to adjust that hinge like this, but we need to match it up to the other door first. So let's see how the door operates. Okay, we're going to try the door. Feels good. That feels good. We're no longer touching at the bottom there. But see how here at the top, these two aren't lining up. So I think we're going to try to adjust this door up first, or we're going to adjust this door down. But I'm going to try to move this door down first. The reason why I'm opting to bring this door down first is because my reveals at the top, that looks pretty even, and down the side looks even. So that's telling me this door needs to go straight down. So we do that. There's a set screw underneath here, and you're going to have to do this on all three hinges. So we're going to go counterclockwise to bring this door down. And we have to do the same thing in all 3 hinges. And we're going to try to get these 2 panels to line up. Okay, I got this gap looking a little better. We're still a little low here, and if I look down this here, I still see that we're a little wide at the bottom. So we're going to adjust that hinge over this way. Okay, we've adjusted the hinges. I'm looking at all the reveals around. They all look really good all the way around. Maybe slightly tighter here, but as you all know, there's nothing perfect in construction. So now we're going to try the door and see how it operates. Let's try the door. This one happens to have the flush bolts. If you have the optional inactive multi-point, instead of doing that, you just lift up on your handle like that, and that'll engage the hardware. If you're not familiar how to use the hardware, please watch my video on how to properly use the multi-point hardware. And then we'll try this door. We'll lift up on the handle to engage the multi-point, and it locks great. So there's a few more things I want to show you on this to make sure this door is just dialed in perfectly, okay? Another thing I like to do is I like to push in this little safety tab here, and that'll release the mechanism so I can throw the deadbolt. If you do that and this doesn't turn, please watch my video on how to turn the actuator pin 180 degrees around the proper way. It'll show you how to fix that. But if it throws like it's supposed to, I like to see how these 2 line up. And this needs to fit perfectly in this slot. So looks like this door can go up a hair more. So we'll go ahead and adjust the hinges up to compensate for that. Okay, now that I've done that, sometimes you may have a door and you close it and you turn this deadbolt and it doesn't throw as nice as that. Maybe it's a brand new door and the weather stripping hasn't broken in yet or whatever. If you got one where it just feels like it's just rubbing, what we can do, and I'll show you how, is to file the deadbolt only on this strike, because we use this strike, same strike for a left or right door. And normally when you bore for your passage and deadbolt, like on your front door, usually that deadbolt strike is really wide. So we're going to go ahead and do that to make sure this deadbolt throws very nice. In this particular door, because it doesn't have the inactive multi-point hardware, we removed the strike so we can go ahead and file this. I like to take a pencil line and kind of just draw a little line like that so I know how much to take off. Now if this had the inactive hardware, you can actually leave this on the door and file the strike plate while it is still on the door. But since we don't have that on this door, we're going to go ahead and take it off and file this. Again, we're only going to do the deadbolt. Now, you can use a Dremel, but sometimes with a Dremel, the rotating tools, it puts gouges in here and makes it look terrible. So sometimes a good old-fashioned file and just going one direction only. Don't go back and forth, because when you go backwards, you'll ruin your teeth. So if you just go forward, lift up, and just like that, you'll remove more material and your file will last a lot longer. And also, this is normal wear, because this is why you have a strike on your door to begin with. As the door closes, the latch goes on here, and this protects the wood. So that is normal wear and tear. I've filed the strike. I wiped off my pencil mark if there was any left, and we got it down like that. Now let's install it on the door. Now, don't be afraid to take more off of this if you need to. I've seen these where they really will have to be filed pretty aggressively to allow that deadbolt to close. And the reason for that is sometimes during construction there may be some movement in the doors, or again, maybe this weather stripping isn't pushed in enough. And that's another thing I like to point out. Make sure that the painter, if he removed this weather stripping, to make sure this is in all the way. Even if this is sticking out 1/16 of an inch, it's not going to allow this door to close all the way. So another thing I would like you to do is take some pledge on a paper towel. And if you see my other videos, I know this is redundant, but this really makes a big difference. Because even brand new from the factory, our weather stripping can feel a little sticky. And as you're trying to close the door onto the weather stripping could actually cause the other door to stop because it's sticking to the weather stripping. Not only that, when we're wiping all this weather stripping down, I'm also pushing in on the weather stripping to make sure if the painter did remove the weather stripping, that it's pushed in all the way. So just go around this entire perimeter, wherever you see this weather stripping, it will make a difference on how your door operates. One more thing I want to show you here. These head and sill strikes are adjustable on this door. If you see this side's thin and this side's thick, you could actually take these and flip them around. That way you can adjust one panel out this way or this way. And the same goes for on this door, but this is an older door and we've now changed these to a plastic insert. So you may be able to take those plastic inserts and flip them around or just leave them out completely. Okay, we're going to try the door. That locks and works great. Well, I hope this video helped you out to adjust one of our doors. If this video helped you out, please hit the subscribe button. That really helps me out. Thank you for watching.